Hello there, all you wonderful people out there. I am Ben the Bold, and welcome back to our Restless Germanians campaign. Now, it's been a little while since I've played some Imperator Rome. I've done some traveling for the holidays. Went back to my my family's home, my old hometown. It's a little around 6 hours away from where I live now. It was a good time, but I spent a week there, and I'm also trying to get over a little cold, so it's been a little while since I've recorded anything for YouTube, or even just played any Imperator Rome in general, because I've been away from my computer. But I am back now, and I'm looking forward to playing as some Restless Germanians. Now, in the last episode, what did we do? We came down here and we challenged Pandaia. Well, I believe it is now time for us to begin to make our way back to the Western world, back to the Mediterranean. Of course, it was a long and harsh journey over to the southern tip of India in the first place, and we can expect an equally harsh trip on the return. So I've kind of been trying to scout out where I need to be attacking and ergo raising, and I think the next place is going to be Ashbaka up into the Marian Empire. Now, if you notice though, the Marian Empire, they are only at tech levels 3 everywhere, which means honestly, raising them isn't going to be that helpful, as I am also at tech level 3. So, Ashmaka, they are at least at tech level 4 in 3 of the tech categories, so they are at least a little bit useful to raise. But the Marians, I might have to go to war with Maria just to traverse their territory, but we'll have to see. Either way, I'm going to start marching my cohorts north, and I'm going to go ahead and unpause the game. So, just for now, I'm going to go ahead and move my cohorts into kind of the northern Ashmaga regions. Try not to take any, or too much attrition here. Of course, that's easier said than done when you have just so many cohorts to deal with. I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday season. Yeah, I had a good time. Again, I'm glad to be home though. Spending time with the family's great, but it's nice to be home. Just gonna keep moving all my men up north as we unpause. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and delete this army since they are 6,000 men of red cohorts, so they don't do me much good. They're not, those red cohorts, they're, you know, my actual army, they're just not very mobile, you know, they can't traverse all of these various... I want to make sure I'm landing on all these forts, especially if they don't have... Although the Ashmakans, they are at war right now, so I'm sure they have full fort. Yeah, they are at least garrisoning all these forts. At this point, I just have so many men to keep track of that it's very difficult to just move my soldiers around. I might have to start maybe splitting up armies into different groups. That's honestly probably something I'm going to have to think about. Ooh, and the Boyhuns. Who are you allied with? You're allied with... Alright, so the Boyhuns might also be a target for conquest. So let's go ahead and move probably everyone in southern India into the Boyhan land, and then we'll kind of move them around once they get here. So yeah, I might have to actually start breaking up my cohorts into kind of multiple, like, hordes, maybe sending them all across the ancient world, because we are getting into just a lot of cohorts to handle. I mean, if we take a look, if we look at our ledger, we have 606 cohorts. The next highest is Macedon with 136. That's insane. That's insane, especially when you consider we only have 232 manpower. Of course, Macedon also looks to be struggling with their treasury, but that's neither here nor there. We're not worried about Macedon for at least a while. All of my pops, oh, except for you guys, which you all are black flags, so you can go anywhere. So again, I'm definitely going to be looking to go to war with the Boyans as well as the Ashmakans, although actually the Boyans might be, and I have bled out my army in Boyja before. For those of you who maybe haven't watched every episode of the series, we started out over here in Germany. We ended up migrating kind of to the Black Sea. We ended up migrating around the Black Sea. We did a number, and the Seleucid Empire was already starting to fall apart, but we really did a number on the Seleucid Heartland. I mean, some of their cities, for instance, Narda, still hasn't recovered. And then we made a disastrous march through this desert region, which I do not want to do again. Our idea was to make it to southern India, a lot of this really high-tech level areas, and we were going to try to raise it all down before eventually returning to Western Europe. However, we went from an army of, oh gosh, what was it? 428 to like just around 300. We lost like a fourth or maybe even more of our army crossing this desert, and we ended up having to declare war on the Boyja. Just going to go ahead and go with morale of armies. It's only up by 2.25%, but still, every little bit counts, right? And we had this just massive... We had a war with Boyha, but really that Boyja war, it wasn't so much about fighting or gaining pops, it was just about gaining food. With the new Livy update of the game, food is a kind of difficult thing to maneuver with as a horde, which is both good in the fact that I think it nerfs being just this migratory horde, because before the food mechanic, man, this would have been just insane. But while I do think it nerfs being a horde a little bit, it also just makes being a horde really tedious, which I know I'm not exactly playing, I think, as hordes were designed to be played, as we move this army of 20,000 somewhere, maybe in the Boyhan land. I don't think I'm playing this quite how hordes are supposed to be played. They have 29 cohorts. I'm not afraid of those 29 cohorts. I'm not really sure where they are. I'm just going to go ahead, and I think I have the manpower to take care of this. We'll move some of these armies away so I don't have so many people sitting on the fort. And then aside from that, I think we can go ahead and raise some cities. That's going to help us with our tech level. Anyway, as I said, I don't necessarily think this is how hordes are supposed to be played. I think hordes are supposed to be much more just based on like a single migration in this Paradox game. What are you all doing? Let's move you up here as well. But I'm having a ton of fun playing a horde in this fashion. Let's go ahead and raise it. Let's go ahead and capture some province capitals. That will immediately start us out in a war, and immediately we get a pretty nice little stack wipe. Looks like we broke a truce. You know what? Not even worried about it. So we need to capture province capitals, which you will now come down here and do. The reason we need to capture province capitals, we have to do that kind of ASAP, is because, well, now we're going to start eating there. Anytime we capture a province capital, we're going to start eating the food from that province rather than our own food reserves. So, for instance, here we're eating our food reserves. We should also go ahead and just raise everything that we get a chance to. There's no reason not to, after all. And let's see. It's going to push us closer and closer, because every time we hit this raise button, we gain 2.57 martial advance progress. So, for instance, right now we are at 72.03, and it might take a month to update it, but if I hit the button, now we are at 74.6. So yeah, no, it doesn't take a month to update. So yeah, just keep hitting these raising buttons. And keep trying to capture province capitals. I am a little worried about this army of 28,000 men, so I'm going to go ahead and move all of my soldiers in. Let's go ahead and just try to defeat them, end their military incursion. Meanwhile, I don't want 100,000 men just to stack on top of each other, so let's move these 39. Let's start moving people around. If they're just sitting on top of each other, they're going to go through their food supplies pretty quick. However, I wouldn't mind having more than 10 times 15,000, because that would just give me an automatic stack wipe there. Speaking of stack wipes, I don't think we're going to wipe them here, but we are going to win this battle handedly. However, we're going to lose a lot of troops in the process. It's really a pain to lose a bunch of troops here because, well, we lost 16,000 men. That means we've lost 16 cohorts, or 16 pops, basically. Because we don't really get them back, but we will get them back through the course of this war by settling and then resettling. I also probably should have paid more attention about my military leaders there, instead of just moving a bunch of basically poor leadership armies into the fray, but oh well, it is what it is. Again, we're going to be victorious. Excellent. Oh, that's 15,000 men. That's not what we want. I'm going to go ahead and move. Well, first, before I unpause, I'm going to raise this city. And now I'm going to move these troops in. Oh, I was unpaused this whole time. It's alright. We're still going to win this fight. And we're still going to, I believe, have enough people to siege down this city easily. So I'm actually going to go ahead and halt these 9,000 men. And you know what? Let's go ahead and give them a leader, even if it is a terrible leader. In the meantime, ooh, I can't move those 27,000 men. These 17,000 men are in a little bit of trouble. I actually might just go ahead and retreat them. There's no real reason for me, as soon as I can, to sit there and fight that out. So let's go ahead and retreat them up. Yeah, we lost 3,000 men, but that's okay. So did they. In the meantime, we'll just have to keep a closer eye on where their armies are. And we've won this siege. Excellent. Let's go ahead and use these 15,000 men to try to dislodge this small army. Ooh, and let's get these 106,000 men off of each other. Because they're just going to sit there and take attrition, and we don't want that. We might start thinking, oh, looks like we've taken another capital. Now, at least here we're going to be able to start grabbing some food. Here we're going to be able to start grabbing some food. Looks like in all these places where we have captured province capitals, we are eating their food instead of ours. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to restock our food supplies, get some easy victories, hopefully grab some more pops by migrating the pops that are currently sitting there, and then moving on to the Boyhas. This is just a little lightning fast war, hopefully. Siege down a couple cities, grab a couple pops, raise for some tech level. How close are we to getting that next tech? Well, we're only about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 provinces, or 5 or 6 provinces raised away, so it's not too bad. We're just going to keep on going. And we are going to do our best to try to avoid conflict with their armies, because honestly, battles on the battlefield, they really don't do me any good whatsoever. In fact, they do nothing but hurt me. So I want to try to avoid conflicts on the battlefield. In the meantime, I'm just going to keep on raising anything and everything that I can. Can I raise here? Yeah, I can. What about here? Yeah. Here? No, already raised there. Alright, let's see. Would they accept a peace here? They would. Now, it's barely a peace. So, honestly, I might go ahead and do it. Well, let's take a look, because the next war I'm looking at is going to be with the Boyhas. Again, this is also just a kind of a war for food. They only have 15,000 troops, but they are also allied with... Which, aren't I at war with you already? I am. You have 26,000 troops. And are the Boyhas allied with... You have 20,000. So, this little power block would be kind of annoying. I could go ahead and come in here and just try to wreck the Patinkins. Or I could just kind of keep on doing what I'm doing. Let's, actually, I am going to go ahead and sue for peace here. I'm not going to take any territory. I think it's fine. We did lose a few cohorts here. Ooh, actually, we lost a lot of cohorts here. So, I need to actually try to make sure I'm making that up. So let's see, what are maybe some good places to settle? Like, this would be a good place to settle, but just a few. So I'm going to go ahead and... How many pops are here? There are... Ooh, you know what? I actually don't want to settle anywhere because that stability is pretty bad. So I am actually just going to go ahead and sue them for peace. Just a nice white peace. There we go. Now, the reason I did that is because, one, I don't want these 17,000 men to fight those 17,000 men. I don't want to lose more cohorts than I already have. Mostly I fought that for tech, which we're so close. to advancing to a new tech level. And then I'm also going to almost immediately fight a war here in Boiham, where I will be able to advance tech-wise. And then I will also try to gather some population from the Boihans, although I kind of need my stability to tick up a little bit, because, so I'm not going to leave it at speed 2. I'm just going to go to speed 4 for a little while, and we're going to let that stability slowly tick up. Now we have really high war exhaustion, which means our military experience is increasing actually pretty quickly. Let me just briefly make sure that I don't have anyone taking unnecessary attrition. And in the meantime, I'm actually just going to go ahead and start off some of my armies coming to like this nation. You're allied with the Marians, so I don't necessarily want to go to war with you, but I'll just go ahead and start moving some troops in this direction. Because and I actually might go ahead and start moving like small blocks of my army through Marian land, maybe somewhere up here in like Bactria, where they can just sit, not take any attrition, assuming they're not in a desert, not take any attrition, and just kind of be here, ready for the rest of my army to come and join. So I think I will do that, maybe with these 3,000 men, because they are relatively high on their food supplies. I just want to make sure they go a route where they won't take any attrition. So for now, I'm actually just going to move them to Central Maria. Do that with these 25,000 too, although they could honestly take some food, so I'll actually move them into... I'll want to send them more towards the Boyans. I'll move armies that are fully stocked with food up here into Central Maria. Now I'm going to have to be careful, otherwise I'm going to start losing armies just because I'm going to physically... Like these 16,000 men, who I just kind of completely forgot about. Well, you have plenty of food. That's fine. We're going to send you up into Marian territory. As long as we have a good, decent, like, solid block of cohorts, I'm really not worried about losing, you know, because we started out the last war with 606 cohorts. We finished it with 571. It seems like that's a major loss for us, but honestly, I'm not really that worried about it. We still, I think, are very dominant and can honestly kind of restock our cohorts whenever we want. Are you allied with anyone? Yes, you are. What I need to do is focus on picking out places that have a lot of tech with not a lot of allies. For instance, you just give tribute to Pandaya, and Pandaya, I mean, you're allied with a couple people. Although if I were to declare war on you... Okay, some people may join Pandaya. Alright. Let's see, these 25,000 men, they could use some food. Maybe I should have left that last war go a little while, just to grab some extra food from some of these territories. I may actually declare a small food war here in Maria. Again, not necessarily to try to win any fights or even take many pops, but just to restock all my food supplies. Yeah, so this army's running out of food. Straight up. So I guess it's time, now is as good a time as any. I'm going to crash in with these two armies into this territory, because they are now losing food at a somewhat alarming rate. I'm crashing in because I'm just going to try to stack wipe this army. I know that I need more than 10%, so that would be, well, 170,000 men. I know I could do it, but I'm actually just... I think 85,000 is enough to handle it. I'm going to hit Raise City. We're going to start a war. We had a stability drop because we broke a truce. I guess that isn't great in the long scheme of things because we need that stability, but we are going to easily stack wipe their army. And now we are going to focus on capturing this territory so that we can grab all of their food. Ooh. I guess we are also at war here again, too. Well, let's actually just kind of get out of dodge with these armies. I don't want them to fight. And all of these armies that have captured territory, let's make sure we raise it. They're already starting to try to rebuild their army. That's fine, they have that right. We should have advanced another tech level. Now, here's the crazy thing. We don't have any pops. No pops whatsoever. All of our pops are in the form of migratory cohorts. What does that mean? It means all of our inventions are, check it out, free. So, paymasters, army maintenance cost? Sure, I'll take it. Supply limit? Yes, I will definitely take that. Global monthly food modifier? I mean, it's free, why not? National tax. Naval range? I don't have a navy, but you know what? It's free. I'm taking all of these because, well, they're all free. Army morale recovery, though, that's really big. Diplomatic. Yeah, sure. I love all of these things. It's easy to love when it's free. Also, check it out. Somehow I already have 100 military experience. So, what were we trying to do? We were kind of working our way down this line. Is that true? Because we wanted eventually... No, what line were we working down? Maybe this... Ooh, enslavement efficiency. I guess that's... can be good if I were enslaving pops, but I'm not really doing that. Although, something I could think about doing is, like, early on grabbing one settlement. So, like, basically, like, settling this one settlement. And then as long as I can defend it from my opponent's armies, then... So maybe I'd want to do that with a settlement with a fort. And then, so if I, like, early on in this war with the Boyhans, or Boyjans, I don't know how to pronounce their name. Not only am I just terrible at pronouncing names in this game in general, but especially, like, the Indian names. But, yeah, if I were to, so say I were to declare war on the Boyjans, and then I captured just this fort, and then I went through and captured all of their territory with that increased enslavement efficiency, would it just send slaves back to this one territory? So, like, if I settled here and then just captured everything else, it would send slaves here, and then I could maybe just migrate away from this one spot and not worry about settling everywhere else? That would potentially mean a lot less button clicks, although it is a little bit more nerve-wracking because of the fact that I'm actually... would then have to be worried about defending a place, and therefore I could lose a war. But, I don't know. I think I'm leading on this middle line next. National manpower doesn't help me. Light infantry planes combat bonus helps me, though. Siege ability would help me. Morale of armies. Light infantry discipline plus 10% would be amazing later in the game. Light infantry forest... Alright, so I am going to work my way down this one. Because I'm eventually going to get light infantry forest combat bonus, and then light infantry discipline. Because why am I focused on light infantry? Well, because all these migratory cohorts, they're all light infantry. So, and I'll go ahead and keep raising. And who am I at war with? I'm at war with a bunch of people. Well. Oh well. Every time I see red cohorts, I just delete them. I don't want them. I don't love that I'm losing food, and I'm actually just straight up losing men at this point. I don't want that. I want to switch this. So let's switch somewhere that has a lot of food, like this army. Let's move it in once it arrives, because I don't want to lose the siege progress too. Oh gosh. But I'm losing like 2,000 men a pop here. And now I'll move the army with no food out. Again, I'm fighting a war for food here. And did I just lose an army? Yep. So this is the dangerous part. This is why I didn't really want to go to war with all of these countries. In fact, would the Boyhans go ahead and just piece me out? No. Oh, the Boyhans aren't the war leader. Who's the war leader? The Alupians are. Alright, well, they wouldn't want that. You know what I can do, though? Because the Alupians, I have a feeling they don't love the Marians. Yeah, they don't. So if I wanted to, I can just peace out to Marian land, which is what I am planning on doing anyway. So at the very least... We at least won this siege. Ooh, and we won here too, which is going to make us the defender. These 25,000 men are going to get there, and we're going to win here. Still not great, but because I'm taking lots of heavy losses, although you're a great general, so we'll go ahead and move you in. Might as well fight a little bit. We are, after all, some raging Germanians. We are not worried by the squabbles of small Indian armies. Alright, now you will... Honestly, I think I'm just going to have you sit and eat for a second. Oh. Unless there's just no food here. And again, I'm still trying to migrate some of my cohorts out here into the kind of the central Marian territories. We're just working our way out of India. We have been in India long enough, I think, and I think it's time to get back to the Western world. Even if it is going to cost me large portions of my armies. I'll tell you what I need. I need for this fort to go ahead and fall. That would help me out tremendously. It has. Let's go ahead and let it go. Move these two armies here. Wait, can I pillage you first? No, but I can at least desecrate your holy sites. Why not? And again, I'm not actually super worried about picking up pops in this war, as much as I'm worried about... I mean, I'd love to raise some territory. Honestly, I'm just kind of letting the world burn a little bit. And I'm also just interested in eventually retreating, getting out of Dodge a little bit. Let's get out of India. I think it's time. We've come to India, we've lost a lot of men, we've also made a lot of friends. It's about the journey and about the friends you make along the way, right? I'm gonna pretend that is the way it goes for a second. But it's time to get away from some of these larger empires and try to focus on maybe some of these smaller places, especially like, oh gosh, we could just destroy Gaul, although Gaul is going to be such a smaller tech level than us. I also think we could, at this point, destroy Rome. We could destroy whoever we wanted, it's just a question of our, do we want to? I think I'm going to try to make my way back through Bactria instead of coming down through the deserts here. Although, if I just took more of my time in the desert, well, you still get that just harsh weather attrition. So I get that up here too? Probably. There's no real great way to leave India and head back west. I would also love to go down through Egypt and maybe Carthage. But we'll have to see. We still have quite the few cohorts, even though we are, you know, kind of closer to 500, which, you know what, what's a few hundred cohorts here and there? We lose so many men so fast. But we can also, I mean, the great thing about a migrant cohort is we can gain so many men so fast. And we can just run away if we need. Which is kind of what we're doing now. Trying to get away from some of these places where we have so many truces. Oh, come on. Don't get stuck in these fights. Yeah, you're going to win, but you're going to lose men. And I don't want you to lose men. Either way, I will say one of the nice things is we have gotten a lot of cohort, or a lot of tech from our little trip to India. Looks like the Marians are also at war with a bunch of people, and they're only allied to two small countries. So I might come here in the Marian territory and just try to grab a bunch of land here in this kind of fertile valley over here. We've lost again, that's a shame, but again, not super worried about it. Let's just keep retreating our men into the Marian heartland. We're getting all the food. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna steal a bunch of hops from Maria. And then we're gonna pick up and leave again. I think that's my favorite part about the migratory tribe, and it's a part I've kind of underutilized so far, but like, hey, if we feel like we're not doing great in a war, you know what? We don't have to stay in the war. We can just leave anytime we want. And here we go. We're just leaving. They didn't defeat us. I think we could have easily beaten them. We just didn't want to. We wanted their food, we wanted their tech, and we have taken those things. Which, you know, at this point, I think those things are rightfully ours. And now we're just kind of getting out of Dodge. And we are going to make a strong, centralized, concerted effort to take some Marian territory. After we let our stability recover for, honestly, quite some time. Also, with 644 gold, I might consider hiring some mercenaries at some point. No time necessarily super soon. Just keeping that on the back burner. Interesting, he's gained some arthritis. I will unfortunately say that I have been neglecting the character aspect in this playthrough, just because I feel like characters haven't been as integral in winning as maybe like my Carthage campaign. Which, by the way, I'm also playing a Carthage campaign in the Livy update. As I said, I just got back from kind of a holiday break, so I haven't had a chance to update that one in a while too, but I'm looking to get another video of that out today as well, so I encourage you to check it out. Let's check out what armies we have that lack food. Just you. Anywhere else? Nope. And yeah, I'll let them go ahead and they can siege all of this territory back to our heart's desire, and hey, I can even lose this war. But the worst they can do is force me into a white peace, because Paradox got rid of the monetary reparations for some reason. No, I understand why they did it. People were using small nations basically as piggy banks where they would just invade every now and again and get thousands of gold, but because there's no monetary reparations, what are the Alupians gonna chase me all the way to Armenia when I inevitably cross Persia again? No, they're not. They won't have the food to do that, they won't have the army to do that, and they won't have the military access to do that. So instead, I come, I raise, I burn, I let my stability tick slowly up, and then I declare war on someone anew. So I'm going to let the AI, I guess, just siege back all this territory. We've gotten our food. No one else except for this little army, which is a 0 stack down here, which I guess I can at least move. Nope, can't move them anywhere. It's a little 0 stack down there. I'm not worried about them. They're the only army that's not getting food right now, although... Alright, now they're good. And I think we'll look for a war with the Marians in the next episode. That is assuming the Marians are still at war with all of these people. They only have 47 cohorts right now, so now is definitely the time to attack the Marians if I'm going to do it. Also, this army, they are chasing. They are giving chase. That's kind of impressive, honestly. I'll go ahead and, as soon as I can retreat from this, go ahead and do that. Yeah, we lost a cohort, but that's alright. And it seems like the Marians are probably taking the worst of these wars. Yeah, so they minus 41 for the Marians. I bet if we declared war on them, they would try to get out of this war real quick. Out of the war that they're currently fighting, I believe down here, real quick. But it makes me want to do it. This would be a great opportunity to restock some of my food supplies. Also, let's see what the Marian tech level is. They're 344. So I actually wouldn't be gaining that much in tech. I wouldn't be gaining anything in tech because I'm 4s all the way down the line. But I could restock some of my population. Yeah, so for instance, what if I sue for peace? I'll even offer peace, sure. Alright, now I have peace with the Olupians. And now what if I just burned this city to the ground? Yeah, I think that's what I'll look to do in the next episode. I hope you tune in for the next episode. I hope you're enjoying the series. I'm enjoying doing it. It's a very different way to play a Paradox game. I don't know, I mean, there's no other Paradox game where you can play quite like this. But I'm actually having a ton of fun with it. I'm definitely just testing stuff out. I am no expert at playing as a migratory horde. But it has been a lot of fun. I hope to keep doing it. I'm hoping to eventually just build this huge migratory horde, which, I mean, you can tell from just the number of cohorts that we have that I have done. I mean, there's 516 cohorts right here, and soon to be more, as we are going to absolutely ravage the kind of the central region, the most profitable region of the Marian Empire real quick. We'll see if the Marians will be able to kind of keep up with us. But it seems like a really powerful way to play, but I'm definitely no expert. But yeah, if you're enjoying watching the series, I definitely hope that you will hit that like button, that you'll hit that subscribe button, and I will catch you on the next one.